Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cardinal Film Fights. I am your judge and host, Stuart Elmore, not Mark Rollins. I am back in the seat for this mid-season finale, which is also our Christmas special, in case you cannot tell. Don't know what gives it away, but lots of stuff. Anyway, we have 3 awesome new fighters and 4 great questions. I'm just going to go down the line. We have Blake Connor coming back to us. So if you want to give like a quick introduction or anything.
Of course, my name is Blake Connor. I'm a junior digital video production student, and I just love ham and beans.
Great. Ham and beans. Heard it here. And then we have Heyman Haggerty.
It's Eamon Haggerty.
Eamon.
No
I said
H.
Heyman.
You said Heyman.
Well, I think...
Shame. I'm Eamon Haggerty. I am a sophomore video production and theater double major. And I'm also a fan of ham and beans.
Of course, they're great.
And then we have you know him, you love him, it's Mark Rollins.
Oh, thank you, Stuart. Yeah, I'm Mark Rollins. I'm a theater education major, and I just want to assure my viewers that even though I'm debating and not hosting today, I will still be judging all of these people. Quite harshly.
Awesome. Amazing. And as always, we have Von Storm fact-checking or doing whatever he does. It's all right. And we have Paige Hopner. I said the right. Hopner. Hepner.
Paige,
Not like
I've
I'm the
never said your
president of the
last
club.
name. I
Strike
feel
2,
bad.
Stuart.
No.
I'm just like,
Whew, all right. I'm just not going to say names anymore. And that kid's running sound, and these people run the show, and all that stuff. So, all right, great start. Anyway, so you guys remember how we play? We have 4 questions in random order. It's 3 points for first place, 2 points for second place, and then 1 pity point for third place. And it's 60-second introduction, then a 5-minute open forum. You guys can like crush each other and get festive with the season, and then a 30-second conclusion. So everybody clear on the rules?
I've
And
never heard these before.
I know it must be new to you, Mark.
Yeah.
So on this receiving
What's
end,
a hey? What's a movie
it's a movie.
again?
Yeah.
Hell if
Moving
I know, man.
picture?
That's dumb.
I know. Anyway, but if there is a tie, last place, we do have some prepared. A single speedrun question. Blake, I know that threw you off last time. Anyway, so it's fine. So, I also forgot to say, if you're here for a certain round, pick in the description below. I didn't say that right away.
I always say
This
that.
is
I'm
why
just-
Mark is the current host. So,
Oh.
what can you do, I guess? But you know, since we're doing like this Christmas special, I thought that it'd be nice to celebrate the holiday special by pitching a holiday special. See, I can do segues too.
He can't. Oh, that was a beautiful. That was
I'm looking at
beautiful.
Mark because I'm like
Snaps.
hoping for approval. So
Oh, it was beautiful. Single tier.
thank you, man.
Stuart.
Thank you. Okay, so the question is, pitch a holiday special. You guys prepared a lot of awesome pitches, but we're gonna start with Mark and come this way. So Mark, whenever you are ready.
Okay. In a sequel to The Christmas Carol, Tiny Tim grows up and gets drafted to fight in World War I. After living in the trenches for months and losing his older brother Peter in the war, he becomes hardened and disillusioned, giving up on the power of Christmas and humanity itself. After being knocked unconscious by an explosion, he faces his own ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. Learning his lesson, he wakes up in an infirmary ward to learn that a Christmas armistice has been declared, and he joins both British and German soldiers in their Christmas celebrations. Tom Holland as Tiny Tim, Joffrey Rush as Scrooge's ghost of Christmas future. I'll get more to that in the open forum. Eddie Redmayne as Peter's ghost of Christmas present. Colin Firth as Bob Cratchit's ghost of Christmas past. And Steven Spielberg directing.
All right, awesome. And now we're gonna go to Eamon. Whenever you're ready.
All right, kids. Here's a little something for you. I like to pitch a remake of the cult classic Christmas film Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Not as many people are familiar with this one. It's a little underground, but it's just all kinds of campy fun, and I think now that the market for cult movies is expanding, I think we get some great comedic talent behind this. Get some of the people who write for like Mystery Science Theater 3000 to come on and create just this great comedy space opera about Santa Claus destroying the Martians. And I imagine it in the style of like a Rankin Bass stop motion special. Kind of bring out that Christmas nostalgia, but I think it'd be just great fun for the whole family.
All right, I have Santa conquers the Martians. So okay, and Blake, try to follow that one up.
All right. So after the lid gets blown on a scandal with coal prices rising, 2 young detectives get put on the case to see why such a monopoly is rising. Upon further investigation, they find a stranglehold has been placed on the coal market by one K. Kringle and begin delving further into the case. Unraveling question after question like Christmas wrapping paper, they unfold a massive cover-up scandal that Santa has actually been corrupted by the coal industry to begin giving out coal to everyone in order for large-scale profits. Will they ever stop him, or will Kris Kringle make off like a bandit? Find out in the HBO original Black Christmas, as directed by Martin Scorsese. And it's actually already been greenlit. I have the theatrical poster here.
Oh.
We have
what a
John
try
Goodman
hard.
as Santa. We have Javier Bardem as Rudolph here. John Bernthal, the face of testosterone, as an elf. And then, of course, our detectives, Martin Freeman, Josh Brolin, and then the CEO, the stone cold woman, Julie Andrews, right here. So I'll just leave this.
I'm just looking at. Wow. Got another exhibit on the show. Okay. Well, time to show your guys' festivity and fight it out.
Okay, first of all, Blake, I'm looking at. I'm terrified by your.
Of course.
By
As you
Javier
should be.
Bardem.
Your pitch sounds like an SNL sketch. I do not take this seriously. Why should I?
Why should you take this seriously? First of all, John Goodman can be a frightening man. As Santa Claus, Black
Monsters
Christmas,
Inc. isn't supposed to be scary.
No,
Blake.
no. Have you seen 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Who
Horrifying.
Oh.
Yes.
who is this for?
This is mainly for me.
For you?
Yes, I love
Are
it.
you the
So
target
no one else is
demographic?
gonna watch it.
No, I think a lot of people are going to watch this. I mean,
uh,
can you genuinely look at this? And
John
not just,
Bernthal is
Here's-
the Punisher, and
here's-
you want to put him as an elf?
Of course.
Here's a question.
Elf. That's the point.
Here's a question for both of you guys.
Black Christmas.
I'm guessing it's a normal holiday special length, about an hour in length, right?
Of course.
How in the hell are you gonna get all these big name actors to star up in this little production to be in an hour long special?
Well, we already
Steven
have.
Spielberg, he's not gonna sign on for a TV special. He's got more important stuff to do than that. Martin Scorsese, get him out of no.
Get him
The
out.
theatrical poster has already come out. I mean,
That is, he does have that
I don't-
evidence. And once they hear the words World War I, big name actors come flocking to that like flies to a fire. It's like
Are you talking about
war?
the Academy? You know who doesn't like this? Charles Dickens, man. I bet Charles Dickens is rolling in his grave right now. When you post this. Why would he want a sequel to something like to A Christmas Carol?
If Charles Dickenson's rolling in his grave, it was because of Yosemite Sam, which we'll get to later. Bugs Bunny.
Stick to this.
Christmas-
Stick
okay,
to this.
so-
one.
I'm just saying, Charles Dickens is already rolling like a rotisserie chicken in his grave at this point. So
See,
I think.
now he's just gathering up more momentum. All right.
But
this
I
is
say
this
mine
is
is a tasteful, classy sequel to
it
a
sounds like
beloved.
a cash grab to me. Christmas Carol 2. No.
You are not going to get all these people to be in this special. Like it's no producer is
He's been
gonna.
on the attack for quite a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay,
let's
Who's even
ask-
in your
okay,
special?
okay,
Eamon?
okay.
Yeah, Eamon, yours doesn't sound. I mean, who's even in
How
your
was the
special?
first, if this is a reboot, how is the first received?
The first was received poorly, but But see,
You really don't have an audience for your
it
reboot.
has no. I do have an audience. This special has gained traction through the marvelous hit television show Mystery Science Theater 3000. Guess what just got renewed on Netflix? If there's a market for campy movies that appear in Mystery Science Theater, then you're already discrediting yourself, sir. You want me to take this seriously? You called it campy. I mean,
No, that's exactly. It's so over the top hardcore that it is campy.
Eamon, I'm just saying. I don't think you know Martian culture like I know Martian.
Oh,
Martians
is
are
that
named.
so?
Martians are named after the Roman god of war, Mars. And do you think
I
they're
actually
gonna
know
let
Marvin.
one fat guy conquer them? It's
Excuse me,
unbelievable.
he is Santa Claus,
It is-
okay? He is a demigod. He's a symbol of love.
Can we fact check
hope,
that,
and
Vaughn?
love
Is
for
like Santa
children.
Claus a
Why
demigod?
is he
Okay.
conquering Martians then? That's not very loving.
Because the Martians don't understand Christmas, okay? He has to spread the joy of
This
Christmas.
seems a little like he's kind of forcing his culture upon the Martians.
Picture
So,
this.
but wouldn't that be funny?
Black
wouldn't that
Christmas.
fit more in a special that's like an animated,
Coal prices
you
are
know,
inflating.
family fun special?
No
than-
one knows
than
why.
that?
Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, as a man who appreciates the true
Santa
spirit
is
of
behind it.
Christmas, wouldn't you rather see Eddie Redmayne giving an Oscar-worthy performance as poor Tiny Tim, a man disillusioned by war, much like society is today?
I'd like to fact check. What year does A Christmas Carol take place? because that would mean a lot to
Late
World War I.
1800s?
If Tiny Tim's going to be, like 50 or 60 years old by the time we get to World War I.
Okay.
Britain was throwing everything in World War
John
I.
Bernthal in green tights just mercilessly beating Martin Freeman. Tell me you don't want
Why?
to see that for Christmas.
Claymation
on
Santa
HBO.
Okay, I'll
fighting
grant you this.
aliens.
I'll grant you this. Martin Freeman is like an elf, pretty much. I mean, he would, but it's
But
like
he's the detective. That's the fun. It's a clever spin. You know, John Bernthal, just this massive, intimidating person, is the elf.
that's not an elf. An
No,
elf is
precisely. That's the entire point. It's taking all these traditional concepts and flipping them on their head. Santa's not a bad
What?
guy, but in this he is.
What's the moral? What are you trying to tell kids, Blake? Are you trying to tell kids that Santa should
I'm trying
not
to tell
be
kids
trusted?
that you shouldn't believe what blind authority tells you. Take that one home.
Okay.
Oh,
Deep.
okay.
It's almost deep as like the bottom
I'm just
one.
saying neither one of yours' specials really conveys the meaning of Christmas like mine does.
Or it did before in the first iteration.
We don't
but
need
this
to
is
see another one.
But this is an
don't need
iteration.
to.
This is an iteration for a new generation.
I like to rhyme.
Oh, wow. All right, glad we started off with that question. So let's actually start with Blake and go this way for the conclusions, whenever you're ready.
So, I believe that Black Christmas is going to be a great HBO original because it takes traditional Christmas concepts and it makes them hardcore. And I think that that's just an exciting flip that Christmas does not get often enough. You see all these fluffy Lifetime original movies about Christmas, but what we really need is a little bit of action. That's it.
Okay, and Eamon.
No one wants to see another version of Christmas Story. There's been too many. Santa. If you want to see action, if you want to see a great action, Santa Claus fighting space wizards and Martians in Rankin Bass style stop motion. What more is there to love? It's a match made in heaven, and I'm so passionate about this, guys. Santa Claus conquers the Martians. There. What more do I need to say?
Wow. Okay. And Mark.
I will concede that Blake's is a good action movie and Eamon's is a good comedy, but they're not good Christmas specials. Christmas specials are supposed to be stories that fill you with the Christmas spirit. All this teaches me is that Santa is scary, and Santa is scary. That's what I'm getting from these things. Mine teaches you the true value of how even when things seem terrible, that you can dig deep within yourself to find Christmas spirit. Glistening eyes.
Wow. Okay. Vaughn, do we have any facts to check on
Yes, so Santa is not a demigod according to most accounts.
Okay.
Have you seen
there's-
Santa Claus the movie?
There's a lot of debates, though.
That is my.
So he's either a human or an elf, or a saint if you
Nick?
are religious. And then A Christmas Carol takes place in 1843.
one? Wow. Long before.
There you go.
They were really scraping the bottom of the barrel for it,
The thing is you all like went you two went kind of similar directions, but Mark was in a completely opposite direction. So I think when it came to deciding between you two, I'm not saying for second or for first, but between you two, I think they hit you more, Blake, and so I have to go with Eamon on this one. I think when you're going for the campiness, and the hilariousness of like action, then he's got all of that together in one package. So if you win that, then who wins this? So that's my kind of thing, is these are two completely different pitches that I have to decide for. And I can't tell if I'm going to give Mark first or third, and that's where I'm kind of stuck at. I mean, Mark, I think they all kind of got you on the fact that, the beautiful Christmas story you're looking for is in the first Christmas story. So I think with that being the case, I'm going to have put these two above and give you third, which means I got to give Eamon first, Blake second, Mark third on this one. Wow. All right.
Now after the hostility's over, I would love to see both of these.
Honestly,
yeah,
you know,
guys, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Mark's, I'd see yours first, though.
Oh.
Like, if putting, like, objectives aside, like, I loved yours, like, probably the most, but, just arguments
Yes.
to be where they are,
completely understand.
Show you guys I'm not biased. I'm a good judge. Love me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, next round. So we just got done talking about, how, we pitched a lot of different versions of Santa Claus, like scary Santa Claus or a happy Santa Claus. But let's talk about the worst Santa Claus ever. right? Good. It's a good question.
Yeah,
Okay, good segue. Okay.
I love it.
All right, so tell me, who is the worst Santa Claus of all time? Now, we're going to start, I think we started conclusions with Blake, so let's actually start introductions with Eamon first, whenever you are ready.
Right. My pick for worst Santa Claus is Jim Belushi from Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you recall, Jim Belushi plays a mall Santa in that movie, who also runs a ring of bootleg toys that he tries to pawn off to parents who are willing enough to purchase them from him. And not only is he, a terrible image of a reflection of Santa Claus, but he's also just phoning it in that movie. So bad on both ends. A poorly written Santa Claus, a bad character of Santa Claus, and just a bad performance of Santa Claus. And, that's just a triple threat right there. You can't put that on screen. So there you go.
Wow. Okay, going with the triple threat. And let's go Blake next.
All right, so if you're talking the worst Santa, you can't get any further than Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa. So first and foremost, let's get out of the way. He's a mall Santa who's there explicitly to rob the mall. He's there with his elf, and together they just rob stores around late at night. And he's just putrid. He intimidates and embarrasses mall children who come in regularly just to meet the man behind the presents, and that's just disgusting. Later in the film, he befriends Thurman Merman, a chubby boy with a senile grandma as his caretaker, and his father's in jail. And he befriends this boy just so that he can rob him. Eventually, the film tries to give him a redemption arc, fails miserably, and essentially all we're left with knowing is Billy Bob Thornton, as Santa, is an alcoholic, sex-addicted thief who intimidates mall children, preys on bullied kids, and robs people. Not just a bad Santa, but the worst.
Okay. We got putrid and sex-addicted Santa. Okay. And Mark.
My Santa is the robot Santa Claus from Futurama, and he kills people. That is, he kills. I mean, so the story goes, the people created a robot Santa Claus to deliver toys during Christmas, but his standards were set so high that no one was judged nice on his list, and so everyone is naughty, and therefore he tries to kill them. He takes rocket launchers, and it gets to the point that by the time Fry learns about Christmas, everyone is terrified of Christmas. Nobody leaves their homes on Christmas because it's just mayhem as Santa flies around and launches rockets at everything because he's trying to kill people.
Yikes.
I rest my case.
Okay, so we got a lot of bad Santas for different reasons, so let's argue out why is yours the worst.
He kills people!
So yes, your Santa Claus kills people, but at least he is a well-written character in a great, well-produced show. My Santa not only is ripping off people and being a terrible influence on the public, he's in a terrible movie, in a terrible performance. And I think overall that makes a worse Santa Claus, because it's not even entertaining at all. It's just mean.
But at that point, if he's terrible in all three things, then he's just kind of mediocre. Because if it's a terrible performance of a terrible Santa Claus, then it's not really it's not a good performance of a terrible Santa Claus.
It leaves no, really, if you want to get down to the worst Santa Claus.
Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton, of course. It's in the name. It's in the name.
He does have a redemption arc, though. He takes a bit.
At least he's honest about it. He's bad Santa.
Yes, so...
And he does. He eventually
that just feels like reinforcement to the point.
He gets a stuffed animal for Thurman, though, and he
after robbing him. After robbing him.
But Thurman
that doesn't really make up for
and
it.
he also beats up the bullies for Thurman.
So what's worse, you think? Killing people or crushing a child's hope?
I would like to say killing people.
But did they deserve it?
I would. I think.
Because Thurman didn't.
Where do you guys go from there?
Blake, never mind. Okay, I would like to say that killing people is, kind of top tier crimes against.
What? Not running a ring of mall Santas and counterfeiting Turbo Man dolls?
At least
poor Arnold Schwarzenegger just wanted to get his kid a Turbo Man. Okay, and the whole world was against him. And you know who was the worst? Jim Belushi. that sack of shit.
At he's making, even if they're cruddy counterfeits, at least he's making toys. At least he's trying to make something.
Yeah, that sounds like a Santa.
That does
you know,
sound- hey,
sounds like
he
a
may not
Santa
be
to
the
me.
best. That's
He is
his
a complete, twisted by capitalism version of Santa Claus. He's in the movie.
Corporate Claus.
He's corporate Claus. There
Not
you go.
to-
And when you get down to it, isn't that when a lot of Christmas movies?
Okay, not only does Santa Claus kill people, he enslaves the Neptunians. Like, those are his elves.
He's also-
Well, that changes everything, man.
Yeah, he conquers Neptune and enslaves the Neptunians, and they live in a third world, like, war-torn country because of this robot Santa Claus. It is terrible. And you're trying to tell me that some Billy Bob fucking Thornton
Check,
is
please.
a worse
But was he an
Santa-
alcoholic?
Yes,
All
mine
robots-
was.
Actually,
Should've
he
told me
is, 'cause
Jim
all
Belushi's
all robots in Futurama
Well,
are
it seems we-
alcoholics because they need alcohol to fuel them.
It
So-
seems that all the bad Santas are alcoholics.
Yeah, it does. Wow. So that's
So
the
how
real
does that help
news.
your point?
I think
Mine's
at
an
this point-
alcoholic thief
Oh, okay.
who breaks children's hearts.
Mine's a robot.
So is mine.
murder-
So is mine. Not only breaking children's hearts, he's breaking parents' heart. He and his mob of mall Santas. And you guys remember this part where he's like the warehouse going through the toys, and they have all those other Santas that like beat the crap out of Arnold Schwarzenegger? Am I imagining this? Good, thank you. You've seen. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, all right, but I'm passionate about this.
My Santa also breaks children's hearts between his hands as he kills them.
Episode number.
Episode.
When does he do that?
How many children does he kill? Do they explicitly show killed children? Because I'm going to have this fact checked. Mark.
He does kill people.
This
Look
is
it
a
up on- he
baseless
kills-
pathos attack.
I don't. Do you guys? I
You
don't
know,
even know where to go out from this
y-
last minute, but
Santa. Hey kids. We may have crushed some dreams tonight, but don't worry. The real Santa Claus is a good guy, right?
Just
Right, yeah.
remember the name of the film. Bad Santa. Not good Santa. Not Santa. Bad Santa.
That's
okay.
it.
Can I take a point
Yeah,
to
you got 30 seconds left.
to acknowledge why are there so many movies that are just called Bad Blank?
Yeah.
I
Bad
think
Moms,
I
yeah.
think if a movie if Santa exists in a movie that exists with bad Santa, to me that lets me know it's going to be a mediocre Santa, because anything that's just called that wants you to know that it's bad, it's
Yeah. Why isn't it worst Santa?
yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Why
isn't
didn't
it
they go with
worst
the
Santa?
superlative?
Because it's not like they're comparing him to other Santas in that universe.
Well, they should.
He's not up to the scrutiny that we have in this debate show, you know? He's
That
just
is
a
true.
bad man.
Wow. I went a lot of directions. But let's start 30 seconds with Eamon, but go the other way.
Jim Belushi as the mall Santa in Jingle All the Way. He makes counterfeit toys. He preys on overworked parents trying to get their kids presents. He's in a terrible movie and he does a terrible performance. And I think above all, that's what makes the worst Santa. At least either of yours are in somewhat entertaining things. Futurama's great. Bad Santa, eh. But Jingle All the Way and Jim Belushi, downright terrible.
All right. And Mark.
I would like to argue that Jim Belushi, if he's a bad actor portraying a bad Santa, then it just evens out to mediocre. And Billy Bob Thornton does have a redemption arc that is clearly portrayed in Bad Santa. Whereas my Santa is a robot murder machine who enslaves an entire planet to terrify civilization on Christmas night. That is a bad Santa.
I'd like to interject. I never said he was a bad actor. I said that this was a bad
Okay,
performance.
bad performance. Sorry. Yeah, Jim Belushi, great actor, bad performance. I'll correct that.
And Blake to finish this off.
So, to rebuke Mark, yes, they attempted to give him a redemption arc. I really don't think that you can redeem a man who preys on a friendless, bullied child, comes into his home, and robs him. You see, maybe your Santa kills people, but my Santa breaks children's hearts. And isn't that just more emotionally draining? I rest my case.
All right. Vaughn? Any facts to check?
Okay, so I personally couldn't find any clips of Robot Santa killing anybody, but I'll defer to Mark's judgment since I haven't actually seen the episode. But
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, something I forgot to do last round, but is there anyone with crew thoughts or things like that? Anybody want to? No, just me. Okay. Same as always.
Welcome to my world, Stuart.
Wow. Eamon gets first place. Mark gets second. Blake gets third. And here's why. I think Eamon, you had it all. You had the entire package, and you said that from like your introduction that you have badly written, badly performed, and bad acting, and all the stuff he does is just bad. So like when other people are arguing why they're Santa, the acts we're doing were bad. You had that too, in addition to being a bad Santa, being bad acting and bad writing and stuff. So you get first place. Mark, I just felt like that. You and Blake were going on a standoff on who was the worst acting Santa, like in terms of their acts. And you know what? I gotta kind of have to give it to killing people and enslaving a planet species over crushing a child's emotional dreams. So I gotta give you second and Blake third for same reason. So, but wow, I never thought it would come down to killing people versus crushing children's dreams on the show. But
You never do.
things can happen. So we talked about a lot of like the worst aspects of Santa. You can almost say that I don't have a good segue, but no, I do. So we're talking about like the worst Santa, almost like he's a Scrooge person. So, but because we've been hounding on Santa, let's give Scrooge a good light this time and talk about who is the best Scrooge. I don't know. It was all right, I thought.
Yeah, that
It
was.
was okay.
It was.
It's all right.
It's the thought that counts, Stuart.
Thanks.
During this season.
So we're gonna do best Scrooge, starting with Blake. Whenever you are ready.
So the best Scrooge to date, no contest, undisputed. Yosemite Sam in Bugs Bunny's A Christmas Carol. To quote Tweety's Tiny Tim, if you had to live off of birdseed, you'd be tiny too. So Sam gets into a phenomenal prank war with Bugs Bunny and a clever twist on the classic tale. I mean, we've seen it, we've seen Scrooge done a dozen times, but they put the Looney Tunes twist with quite a bit of great just slapstick comedy, and it's only 8 minutes, so it's very digestible. You don't have to sit down for hours on end to watch a Scrooge performance. You get the whole thing summed up in an 8-minute performance, and if that doesn't make him the best, I don't know what does.
Wow. Okay. And let's go to Eamon.
For my pick, I chose the one, the only, the international treasure, Michael Caine, one of the best living actors in A Muppet's Christmas Carol. And what makes him work is that he's a great Scrooge because he's able to live in this world of Muppets and creatures and puppets appearing before him, and he takes it completely seriously, which is incredible. And it's a testament to his acting skills, and it really brings out the world that Jim Henson and his team created. Because somebody he's the perfect straight man to all this crazy Muppets comedy that's going on around him, and he does a lot of justice to the original character, and I think it's marvelous. It's classic.
Wow, marvelous, classic. And let's go to Mark.
So for mine, I picked George C. Scott from the 1984 televised movie version. George C. Scott adds a tremendous amount of humanity to Scrooge, so you really feel invested in his arc, from curmudgeon who hates Christmas to the tortured child with issues that were never resolved, into a man who forgives not only his past, but himself, and comes to love Christmas for everything it stands for. It's truly, I believe, the most emotional and most relatable performance of Scrooge to date, just because George C. Scott doesn't, stick with "I'm just grumpy and mean all the time." He shows like a human side quality of a man who has been hurt and who goes on this emotional repairing journey to right his wrongs. And so that's why I say George C. Scott is the best Scrooge.
Well, all right. And let's go to our 5-minute open forum.
I'd like to start by saying I was a little confused when I heard you chose Yosemite Sam, because I remember as a kid there was another Looney Tunes Christmas Carol in which Daffy Duck played the Scrooge character, and Yosemite Sam was the Ghost of Christmas Present. And to me, the fact that you could really just interchange those two characters in that role means that Yosemite Sam probably wasn't the perfect fit for
That
that.
Yosemite Sam really phoned it in. He didn't even try to attempt an English accent in this. He stuck with the Yosemite Sam type.
So the thing that I really enjoy about this performance, this marvelous performance by Sam, Yosemite, is the fact
Don't
that
you
he
mean
is flanderized.
Mel Blanc?
He is absolutely flanderized.
Don't even know who plays Yosemite Sam? It's Mel Blanc.
He is flanderized. All of the traits of the Scrooges that came before, standing upon the shoulders of giants, really. And he is just relatable. You just understand everything in 8 minutes. You know who Scrooge is. You look at it and you say, this is why he is this way.
Yeah, because you've
This is
seen
it.
all the other versions.
Of course,
He
so
doesn't
this makes
stand
it
on his
easy.
own.
Amen. Amen. We're already spending way too much time on this.
Okay,
I was gonna
okay.
say,
Oh,
so turning to you, Michael Caine, yes, I think it is a testament to his acting that he was able to take the Muppets, make the Muppets world believable. But I don't think it was the best portrayal of Scrooge today. I think it was a testament to his ability to believe in the circumstances, but I don't think it was a testament to his portrayal of Scrooge himself.
I think it really was, because he was able to. I love the Muppets Christmas Carol. It's a classic, and he is the humanity of that movie.
Well,
In a world surrounded by
yes,
puppets, but he's able to take that in stride, and he becomes the emotional core of the film, because he's the one character that we as the audience really latch onto. And in any version of Christmas Carol, of course, the protagonist, but I think especially in a world where he has to act alongside of puppets and inhabit that world and really make us believe that what we're seeing and all these characters are coming to life.
I think the Muppets I will concede, I think the Muppets Christmas Carol is a great kids' Christmas Carol. It's a great Christmas Carol for when you're starting out and you're like first hearing the story. It's the most entertaining Christmas Carol for kids. But
It's
if
the
you
build up to the Looney Tunes Christmas special. Is really what it is.
How you
When
doing over there, Blake?
when
you
you-
know,
when
in
you
your
look at it.
dejected loneliness.
Oh no, I'm feeling fantastic.
Good. Okay, so back to what we're really talking about here. George C. Scott is by far, I mean,
You got 2
he
minutes left,
is
man.
he's the Christmas Carol for a mature generation. He's the Christmas Carol when you truly want to feel the essence and the morals and just the heart-wrenching story that is a Christmas Carol.
And
I think
if you want to do that in 8 minutes instead of 2 hours, go to Looney Tunes.
I think A Christmas Carol was meant to be a story for all ages. It's a family story, and what better family entertainment is there
Then
than
Looney Tunes.
George C. Scott is George C.
I
Scott's
mean, am I
Christmas
wrong?
But it's that version of of Christmas Carol is a parody of the Christmas Carol. Michael Caine really takes everything in hand seriously, and it's incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
George C. Scott's Christmas Carol is by all means accessible to every child, but you get an added bonus from it when you rewatch it as an adult. From a kid, you learn the true meaning of Christmas, is being generous and kind to everyone. But as an adult, you really invest in the story itself, in Scrooge's character development, and I believe that that's why it's a multi-layered performance by George C. Scott. He provides everything that the kids need to know, but he adds that depth of humanity and experience that only adults can appreciate. Michael Caine does a great job believing that the Muppets are that the Muppets are in the real world. But it is very geared towards children, and there's just not that added layer of emotional depth.
So just because it's for kids means it's not as good. Is
No.
what you're saying.
No, I'm
I
just
think
saying.
that's what Mark is saying.
I'm just saying that it's going to appeal to the kid side in everyone, whereas George C. Scott's appeals to the kid in all of us, but also the adult.
But
in
isn't
all
there
of us.
something to be said about children's entertainment for adults, like Looney Tunes,
like
that you can enjoy at any
heck,
age? It's
Blake,
fantastic,
I don't
really.
want you to think that I don't love Looney Tunes.
Oh
'cause
no,
I
that is
adore-
exactly what I think.
oh, is this? I do adore Looney Tunes, but
Which is why Yosemite Sam is the greatest, and that is time.
Well, I think Blake's got to get it. Wow. Okay, that was quite a trip. So I think we started with you for introductions, so let's start Mark for conclusions now.
George C. Scott gives a multi-layer performance that can be appreciated at any age level for different reasons at every age level. Whereas Michael Caine provides an admirable performance as the Muppets, it really does appeal always to that kid side of you. It never really makes you think of the adult implications of Christmas Carol, whereas George C. Scott's manic mood and fragility really underlies a human pain and suffering. Notice how I didn't even acknowledge George Blake.
Wow. I will acknowledge you.
Let's go to Eamon.
George C. Scott's great. Yosemite Sam can be replaced by Daffy Duck, and no one would care. Michael Caine, he does everything George C. Scott does, and he acts alongside puppets, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hard thing to do, and he really did. And I agree with you that in Muppets Christmas Carol, there's a lot you can get out of it as an adult too, and he's the perfect comedic straight man while also having a great emotional core to his performance.
And finishing off with Blake.
I will concede that some admirable points were made here, gentlemen. However, I will concede also that Michael Caine may have done a great job believing that the puppets were there. George C. Scott may have given an emotional performance for adults. But if you'd really like just a shortened, easily digestible, and understandable version of the character that we already know because of these performances, but want to just see it better, go to Looney Tunes.
Wow. All right. Vaughn, was there anything?
There were no facts.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm kind of in a pickle right now. So I don't know. How do you pick from these great performances?
And Blake.
All right, Mark, you get first. All right, I'll give you first.
sorry.
No, I was always going to give Mark first. I think that went on a couple tangents that served you well in terms of your explaining why George C. Scott kind of universally the better Scrooge, and arguing why Eamon's choice is more of open for kids. I'm sorry, Blake. I thought you were gonna come out with some Exhibit B or something that was just gonna blow the water about why Yosemite Sam was gonna win.
Oh, I'm getting third, so I'm just going to be honest. It was hard not choking on all that bullshit.
Okay. I was just waiting for something to come out okay, is something gonna happen that's gonna cause the win to take over? But no.
Unless you were going to give me second, in which case I'll save that comment for 30 seconds from now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you third, and I'm going to give Eamon second, because Eamon, you did argue Michael Caine does give a good performance with Muppets.
And I love you.
Muppets, so, but good job. I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show, but 'tis is the season to get lit, and I'm wearing a light up. Wow. Nobody laughed in the
Did we all pick the same? Did we all pick the same Scrooge at first?
I picked George C. Scott.
Okay.
No, I always said Michael Caine.
Oh,
Did you pick George?
Yeah, because Yosemite Sam was not my first pick.
I actually think I remember, your third pick was I don't know, man, Bill Murray. That was your third pick.
Yeah, my third, because I don't know that many Scrooges. I don't know. I do, but they're all Yosemite Sam.
And not even, I love it wasn't even Mel Blanc as Yosemite Sam.
No.
Yosemite Sam. Yeah, what is Yosemite Sam doing nowadays,
He the reason that he doesn't come to any realization, Bugs Bunny threatens to take him to hell if he doesn't change his ways.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow. Well,
as the ghost of Christmas.
So before we get to our last question, Paige, can I get a score count exactly?
Currently, Eamon is in first with 8 points, Mark is in second with 6, and Blake is in last with 4.
Wow. Okay. I think there's still a chance for you to catch up and tie for first with the math, I believe, because next round is double points. And we're always talking about the greatness of all the Christmas movies. That's why we're here today, is to talk about how much we love Christmas movies, but some of them are kind of overrated. So let's talk about what is the most overrated Christmas movie of all time. So I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was a good transition. So All right. I believe we started introductions with everybody, so let's go right back to Mark for introductions whenever you're ready.
I picked White Christmas. White Christmas has been labeled as a classic in recent years, which I don't think is undeserved. I think there are other Christmas musical movies that have done it better. Holiday Inn, in fact, check me on this one, but I believe Holiday Inn actually did the song White Christmas before White Christmas did it. White Christmas's plot is very thin. It's there just to showcase the songs. And it's a lackluster performance from Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. And there are just so many other movies that do the same thing better. And that is why I picked White Christmas as the most overrated Christmas movie.
Okay. And let's go to Eamon.
I chose A Christmas Story as my most overrated movie. A Christmas Story, it's a fun little Christmas movie about a family, struggling to celebrate the holidays. And the core of the movie is kind of about the commercialization of Christmas. You know, how all he wants is like the Red Ryder gun, and all about, how it's not about what you get, but like how you spend time with your family. And it has become the most commercialized movie ever made. Christmas movie, at least. Anywhere, there's remakes, there's a new live version coming out, there's a stage musical, there was a sequel that nobody wanted, TBS airs it on a 24-hour loop every Christmas, there's all the toys, there's all the leg lamps, there's enough. People are acting like, it's like the New Testament or something, it's just a funny little Christmas movie from the 70s or 80s. Fact check me, please. Yeah.
Well, the New Testament. It's a big thing I got from that. So good.
All right.
And Blake.
So I was struggling to come up with an answer for this question at first because I just feel like so many Christmas movies are overrated. But I overheard someone talking about how much they loved this movie, and it just stole my heart. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, not the Jim Carrey version, because it's not good. I believe the whole film is overrated for several reasons. First of all, I think what you guys are going to attack me about is the film isn't rated all that great to begin with, which I will concede, yeah, it has a 46 out of 100 on Metacritic. However, it won an Oscar and 17 other awards, along with 38 nominations, and not a single one of them was a Razzie. Crazy, right? No, so if this doesn't sell you on why the Grinch is overrated, then consider for a moment this scene. Oh, no, where's it at? Oh, goodness.
You got
This,
Wow.
this scene. To those of you who remember, Jim Carrey says, "Kiss me, you fool," before making the mayor of Whoville kiss a dog's ass. That happened.
That was the thing.
All right. Kissing a dog's butt, the New Testament, and thin plot. So, guys, for the last time this semester, let's go to our 5-minute open forum.
I want to, I'm going to find out later. How many people in this room, by a show of hands, have seen White Christmas? 1,
2.
2, 3. No, 2? Thank you. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it.
No, I mean, I don't really hear people talk about it unless they're talking about old Christmas movies.
Maybe it's
I mean,
underrated.
Why you haven't seen it? Because everybody tells you it's overrated.
I've never once heard that.
No, not really. I've only ever.
Sorry, I did about a minute ago.
Oh, you see, and you haven't watched it since then, so there you go. Point proven. How many? Okay, but have you seen the documentary where Jim Carrey describes his method acting performance for playing
Jim and Andy?
I certainly
Yes.
have not.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Plug.
Jim
Go
Carrey-
watch that.
Jim Carrey gave it his all. He became the Grinch whenever he was.
I'm
in
certain
the
Jim Carrey gave it his all. He always gives it his all, which is why sometimes it's not great.
and at least the Grinch has some impressive set pieces and costumes.
The costume and makeup.
I will,
and
I will
makeup,
agree
yeah.
with that.
Yeah, and but Christmas Story is just bland.
The thing about A Christmas
Bland.
Story is, I do agree with a lot of what you said. I do, but I think A Christmas Story is it is the Christmas movie. I
It
don't
is.
believe that it's
Everybody-
overrated. I believe that
everybody-
it coined terms. You'll shoot your eye
Yeah,
out.
you'll shoot
I
your
triple
eye-
dog dare you. What
Yeah.
other what other Christmas movies have
a special award.
Yeah.
Like, it's so quotable.
It's a
that everybody
special thing.
knows
It's-
that.
yeah,
it can't be overrated.
A lot
It's
of
just so
things are
special.
quotable. I mean, kiss me, you fool. There you go.
I hadn't thought about that until I This scene struck me because this is just awful.
I'll give
The dog's eyes bulge. This is just horrible. This movie won awards.
But you see,
a Christmas Story has like it's burrowed itself into our cultural conscience.
so
to
is White
Deservedly
Christmas.
so.
Everybody knows the song White Christmas from the movie White Christmas when it was actually from Holiday Inn beforehand.
Well, I knew the song White Christmas, but I've still never seen White
did-
Christmas.
But you
I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen.
you know White Christmas is a Christmas movie that everybody talks about. Where
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I've only ever heard my parents mention it like, oh yeah, White Christmas, where the song came from, which it isn't, you know. And it's, who was in it? It was, who was in it?
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, yep.
Yeah, you see,
See, I don't even remember. I almost said Frank Sinatra, because like nobody knows.
because it's,
They're,
and that's why it's overrated. Because everybody says it's great, but it turns out not everybody has
Well,
seen
did
it.
A Christmas Story win awards? I don't know.
It's-
Did you look at because The Grinch won plenty of awards that I just don't know about.
Can we get a
You know
fact
what
check
else
for
won an
what
award?
Oscar?
Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad won an Academy Award, but everybody agrees it's bad. I think most people agree that How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a bad movie, but still everybody sings the praises of Christmas Story. And
I don't
it's
know.
good, but it's not 24 hours good.
Two IMDb users would disagree.
Oh.
Kim's Girls Thing gave it a 10 out of 10 and said, quote, creative, funny, laughed my A asterisk off.
Wow.
Just because someone has a 10 out of 10 on IMDb.
Alonga 15152 says, my opinion
She knows what she's
of
talking
Grinch 2000.
Oh.
10 out of 10. Best movie I've ever seen. That is not true.
Anybody can give it a 10 out of 10. Nick,
But they didn't. Not
If
just
If you
anybody.
guys remember Nick Rorman from last season, he's gone on my IMDb and given my shit 10 out of 10. It's terrible. Anybody can post a review on what really makes an overrated movie is not about awards. It's not about, you know, the whatever White Christmas is about. It's about how people remember it and how it permeates in our culture. And like the Christmas Story, when you get down to it, it's like it can get obnoxious. It's racially insensitive.
I just don't think it
there's a
leaves.
lot wrong with that
I just don't
movie.
think you leave A Christmas Story with a sour taste in your mouth. It's just such
No,
a nice. It's just
that's
such
a-
a nice
it's
family
almost-
tale. You
It's
know,
a-
it's just.
it speaks to the
it's a
people
portrait.
of the Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. It
Which
is.
is
It
the
is the
everyman's
Christmas
man.
movie. It is the face of Christmas movies, honestly.
It tells
face of Christmas movies.
A Christmas Story, of course. Has everyone seen A Christmas Story? Everybody knows what A Christmas Story is about, right? Of course. You know, not to discredit you anymore, Mark, but
Oh,
you know,
no,
like the
You know, I'm just gonna say that this is probably karma for what I did to you last round, Blake. So
I can't put my arms down. Remember that?
yeah,
He
'cause
couldn't
he's
put his
like-
arms
yeah,
down.
and that is so true
was
to
crazy.
the Midwest experience. You see, Christmas. Wow, that 5 minutes went by fast.
Wow.
Oh wow, ka-chow. Christmas Story.
Yeah, let's go back to conclusions, starting with Blake.
In conclusion, nobody knows what a White Christmas is. It can't be overrated. A Christmas Story is a family treasure, an American treasure. And How the Grinch Stole Christmas it's disgusting, is what it is. It won 18 awards, was nominated for 38. Both Kim's Girls Thing and Alonga 15152 love this movie, and it's just undeservedly so.
They know what they're talking about.
I rest my case.
All right. Eamon.
Everybody now agrees that How the Grinch Stole Christmas is bad. White Christmas isn't culturally relevant anymore. A Christmas Story, it's a fun movie, and that's it. It does speak to the Midwest experience, but it's so overplayed. It's so over talked about, and I see it everywhere. It's not worth the amount of praise that it gets, frankly.
All right. And before Mark's, just quick, Vaughn, you probably already looked this up. Can I get a fact check for what it won the Oscar for? The Grinch?
Yes, it won for best makeup.
Okay. All right, Mark, whenever you're ready.
So, as my opponents have been so eager to point out not a lot of people know what White Christmas is, but when White Christmas first came out, people did know what it was, and they rated it highly, which apparently it shouldn't be rated highly anymore because no one knows what it's about. It's time we take back our ratings, people. Take it back from the 80-year-old dinosaurs who think that White Christmas is a good movie. They don't determine movie rating fate anymore. That is our something or other prerogative.
That was absolutely admirable.
Anybody can win Best Makeup with their eyes closed.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Suicide Squad.
Woo. Besides that, any other facts? Did I literally miss a mic drop? Oh, I was looking the other way. Okay.
Oh, you'll hear it
I'm
later.
so sorry,
I'm sure.
Mr. Sound Person.
He's shaking his
He's
head.
just
the
screaming.
sound man.
Okay.
So Mark was right. Holiday Inn did use White Christmas before White Christmas did. A Christmas Story came out in the 80s. And then A Christmas Story won 3 awards, none of which I've ever heard of.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Say that a lot. Say it a lot. Like, a lot.
A lot.
I don't know
I
what
like
that
it a
was.
lot.
You know, I never did the thing where I like.
You
think
see,
about.
that's okay, Stuart.
It's
You don't
alright.
have to do
I just
that.
do the wow. So
Yeah,
that's my
wow.
thing.
That's your calling card.
I don't know.
I don't.
Mark, I'm sorry.
No,
I was really
I-
pulling for you. I was hoping you like make a comeback, but
Yeah,
they,
no.
they just got you, man.
They
Like
got
it
me.
really isn't culturally relevant anymore. Like I haven't even seen the movie, so I just know the song White Christmas. But so yeah, they kind of got you in that point. So it came down to Eamon and Blake, and like if you guys had like hashed out a little bit more, that is the Grinch really like? I mean, like good, overrated. Like if you stuck more against like the ratings say it's bad, so therefore it's not overrated, which it was started off that way, but it didn't keep going that way, and which it turned into like which movie is just worse, and Blake won that argument. So Blake's gonna get first with Eamon second and Mark third, which puts it to where I think is there a tie? Oh wow! All right. Well, while
Okay, while we wait,
yeah, the dogs.
I will say that
That
is
is
always
kinda
my
true.
argument whenever anybody talks about how much they like that movie. I'm like, he makes him kiss the dog's ass. Like,
The dog did not consent to that.
But yeah, Jim and Andy, that is a great documentary. It's on Netflix. You guys should go watch it. It's about when Jim Carrey plays the role of Andy Kaufman, and he actually literally, like quite literally becomes Andy Kaufman. His family
Yep.
talked to him like they were talking to like Andy, which it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So
Eamon, do you like A Christmas Story?
I do.
Okay, like because like I know what I mean. Some of these arguments, like when they're over, I'm like, okay, I would just like to admit that I was lying.
No, Christmas Story.
Yosemite
It's,
Sam.
it's fun.
oh, we have scores.
All right, it is Eamon with 12, Blake with 10, and Mark with 8.
Wow. Sorry, that's my thing. So congratulations. You said Eamon with 12? Yeah. Okay, congratulations, Eamon, on winning
you.
our holiday Christmas special. Thank you guys for coming and putting on a great debate. A lot of passion with Christmas movies that personally I've never really understood. I don't watch a lot of Christmas movies, but why am I even here right now? Well, you know what? There is a reason why I'm here. So, folks, this is actually my last show ever. So I'm actually graduating in December, and just a little quick words I want to give to the audience that, I don't know, may have been with us since the beginning. I don't know. There's a test run episode on my original YouTube channel.
I remember.
If you guys want to go see that. It looks like the center cam is actually off right now, so I'm going to talk to this camera. It's fine. It's cool. So, yeah, I started this club about a year and a half ago, my sophomore year, and we've been going strong ever since about last October with the season, and we got a great crew here. Mark, obviously, being like the better judge and host we've had. Good job, man. And behind the cameras here, we got a great crew. So I just want to say thank you to the crew for making the show as good as it is. I mean, look at the set. That's all I'm going to say. And the center cam is back on, so I'm going to do a quick clap sync again. And just look back into the center cam, because that's where we do the outro graphic. I remember. I watch our episodes still. Anyway. But I do want to thank Ball State University for giving us the resources to put on this great show. It's been a dream project of mine that I didn't think would come true, but it did, so thanks. I want to thank our faculty advisor, Catherine Gardner, who I think she watches our episodes. I hope. That'd be really embarrassing if she didn't. But for helping us along the way of making this club great. And I want to thank the viewers for coming again and again to watch this Screen Junkies ripoff. So I said it. There, I went there. And yeah, just keep watching because the show's gonna get better and better when I'm gone. And other than that, I think I got the last words. There's some sort of out. Oh yeah. If you got any questions or certain topics you want us to debate, put it in the comments below. And remember, hit the subscribe button and to like today's fight and share us on social media. That being the case, I'm Stuart Elmore. I won't see you next time. I'm not crying. You guys can cut.